So before I can get to the tips of you actually investing, there's a couple things that you need to get taken care of before we can actually get your money to work for you. We need to get rid of all of the things or minimize the things that we can that are working against us. The first thing is inflation. Inflation is essentially the devaluation of a currency over time. The best example of inflation is when you talk to an elderly person about when they were younger and they say they bought gum for 10 cents and now gum is $1. Our money is not worth as much as it was before or in the past. It isn't a bad thing, it's just something we have to be mindful of. The next thing we have to be mindful of is high interest debt. So what is high interest debt to even get started? So high interest debt is anything with an interest rate of greater than 5%. At least that's my definition, because with inflation and a high interest rate, that's almost 8%. And an average stock market returns 7%. You might as well just not even invest at that point, because any gains that you're gonna make, you're gonna lose to whatever company that you have these loans with. So the common high interest loans are credit card debt, personal loans, student debt. Those are just some of the few things that are out there that can be considered high interest loans. I wouldn't really consider auto loans or mortgages to be high interest loans. It's definitely something that you should pay off if you're able to, but it's not going to prevent you from actually starting investing. Actually, the ownership of a home could be an investment that is actually very good for you. So now we got all those things under control, we're getting them paid off, or we're paid them off, and we're ready to actually start making our money work for us. Next big thing is to not invest yet. We need to get an emergency fund. And what an emergency fund is it's 3 to 6 months of whatever you're making right now, you saved up. So in the case of if you were to run into a hard time or something were to happen where you need money, you have it on the side, or you even lose your job, you have a certain amount of months off to the side so you wouldn't have to take out the investments that you put in. Because investing isn't always a surefire thing that it's going to initially go up. We could put money into the market and then it could the very next day go down and you could lose your money. But if you keep it in there for a longer term, your odds of making money are greatly improved. The next best thing you can do is if your company has any employee match program. So basically, if you invest 5% into your 401k, your company will invest a 5% or match that 5%. And why this is such a great tool and why everybody needs to do this if the company does offer it to them is because it essentially gives you a pay raise. Everybody wants to make more money, but nobody wants to take these employee matches and abuse them like they should be abused. So essentially they're paying you 5% more for the work that you're doing, and you're not actually doing anything differently except for investing in your own future. So it's definitely the biggest thing that I think everybody needs to accomplish. Following that, the last thing that I think that everybody should do once they've done these first two things prior to you actually taking your money and putting it into the stock market and controlling it yourself is to open up a Roth or traditional IRA. And basically what the difference is all based on taxes. I'm gonna bring up a tax bracket after I explain exactly what I'm talking about. But traditional IRA taxes you, when you pull out your money, it doesn't initially tax you. And then a Roth IRA taxes you, or takes money that you already have taxed and then puts it in the stock market. And then when you go to pull it out, when you retire, it's not taxed at all. And essentially the cutoff point in my eyes is about 25%. So if you're in a tax bracket greater than 25%, you should probably use a traditional IRA. If you're in a tax bracket less than 25%, you should probably use a Roth IRA. But those are just my opinions. Obviously, every situation is a little bit different, and it's definitely something that you should contact a professional about before you just take my word on it. So now that you've gone over all of this, you are ready to invest. I know those other things are actually investments, your 401k and a Roth IRA, but they shouldn't be considered investments. They're just a no-brainer. If you really want to get in investing and you want to really control your future, those things are a must before you even consider investing further than that. So as always, make sure you guys hit that like button, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification so you get all these tips as they come out. And again, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please place them in the comments or email me directly. My email's in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed the tip. Hope you guys learned something, and I hope this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Thank you guys so much for your time. I love you guys. Bye.